Shalom. I'm Minister Dr. Cynthia Marie Whitley, but I'm not your conventional minister. The name of this podcast is Be Aware. Be aware of your thoughts. Each week, we will review self-realization tips using primarily biblical references through storytelling. We will reflect on our thoughts and become aware. Shalom. Story number 6. Congratulations! If you have ever set a goal or spoken or written a positive affirmation, then you are already on your way to this week's topic. I'm revisiting journal writing because I've picked up a new approach on journaling during my studies this week. Remember, the goal we are choosing for journaling is to clear our minds of clutter and to hone in on our truest desires in order to have them manifested. So if we want certain situations or things to manifest in our lives, it would behoove us to be aware of our thoughts much of the time. I listened to a mentor this week, Esther Hicks, as she spoke of a journaling style called script writing. It requires us to use our imagination. Florence Scovel Shinn quotes, "Out of the imagination of the heart comes the issues of life," meaning that the images that we see in our mind usually play out in our lives. This is what is meant when it is said that we create the circumstances in our life. This is why I emphasize for us to be aware of our thoughts. You'll soon see why we must make every effort to be appreciative, not to envy anyone, and learn to meditate and take events in our lives lightly. Said another way, don't sweat the small stuff. It's what the author Robert Carrison says. Script writing as a form of journaling puts us in the director's high chair, which I decided to sit in as I journal, and brought forth this story. I bought a director's high chair a few years ago, I guess for this very moment. Imagine when a director gets an idea for a movie and executes it with characters she or he has imagined. Imagine the joy of the finished movie. I say the finished movie because what they may encounter during the making of the film might be frustrating at times, but not when they receive the Academy Awards. So by journaling, let's win the Academy Award for our lives, creating, managing, and directing the script through our visualization of what we wish to have projected has to feel rewarding. As directors, we get to control the dramatic and artistic aspects of our lives. We get to set the tone of our life, and we get to include anyone whom we want, all for the sake of our well-being and everyone involved. And how apropos this is, because we have been given a free will with the freedom to create our life in this way. We get to be active participants in our life. It's our job to take responsibility for directing our own life so as not to feel trapped by anyone. Our job is to accept responsibility for directing our own life so as not to be a part of anybody else's drama. When we are not conscious of the impact of the thoughts we are entertaining, we often create unwanted situations. Number 1, as the director of our cast, we automatically set ourselves as the main character. Period. Anyone else can be woven into your scripts, but not to upstage you. Remember my signature story number 1, where I put everyone else before myself for many years and felt trapped well into my adult years? Don't let it take that long for you to direct your own life. The excellent part of this type of journaling is that with your carefully chosen words, you get to redirect your life as you truly, truly desire it to be. Just start writing about the images you see within. When we do this, we are tapping into the secret desires of our heart. Rule number 3, write in the third tense, not the first tense. The first tense is I, we, us, mine, me. The third tense is he, she, them, they, herself, themselves. You can use your name throughout. Here's an example of how it could go. Take one. The character known as Dr. Cynthia Marie Whitley is vibrant, creative, and wise. She finds herself among like-minded, jolly, sincere, kind, informative associates and good people wherever she goes. That's the end of the take. Be mindful, though. It is easy to jump back to the first tense. In those cases, when you read it over daily, correct it. It may also be easy to start thinking and writing negatively. It will be subliminal. Remember, we have thousands of thoughts daily. Again, correct it, cross it out completely or erase it, and rewrite visualizing what you really, really want. Slowly bring in other characters following the same rule. No first person and no negative energy. Write who this person is and your future imagination of them as your ideal companion, boss, children, anyone you choose to associate in your life. Take two. Listen. Cynthia and Al travel together all the time and have the most perfect experiences. They read together, create fine music together because Cynthia loves to sing. They meditate together and relax together. Al shows Cynthia chivalry and it keeps a smile on her face. Cynthia is also very considerate, respectful, admirable, and kind to Al, and he loves the way she treats him and herself, and he too blushes all the time when they are together. End of take two. Remember, only write what comes naturally as your ideal desire and what makes you smile. Continue writing and imagining how well things are working for you and other characters you have casted. This type of journaling is said, like others, to bring clarity, as mentioned in Podcast 5. What you journal comes true. Remember Habakkuk 2:2? It says, write the vision and make it plain. I've tried many journaling styles, and they all worked based on how much work I put in. This time, I eagerly take up the mantle to follow this new one suggested by Abraham Hicks for 30 days. This time, like Dorothy in The Wiz, I have companions to join me. You. We can continue writing scripts until we are satisfied or have ideally what we want through our scripted imagination. I should say rewrite. The point is to get to the well-being of our future. Hicks say, feel free to insert affirmations that work for you throughout your writing. I like the affirmation, every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. So I can write, Cynthia and Al read affirmations every morning upon awakening. An affirmation they quote all the time is, every day, in every way, we are getting better and better. They made a song out of it because Al is a superb pianist and plays many instruments professionally. Negative thoughts will rear their ugly head. In my book, Looking for Self in All the Wrong Places, based on The Wiz, the crows grapple for the scarecrow's attention all the time. They even made him recite or engrave the negative crow's anthem in his head through song. You can win. You can't get even and you can't get out of the game. But this is a lie. You can create in this game of life because we are the director. Your life is yours to direct. It is okay when negative thoughts enter. Do not give up on your project. Once you begin to notice the negative chatter, it will become easier and easier to notice negative thoughts sooner and sooner. Exercise other tools and techniques to help you take control of your own thoughts. Remember story 2? What ingredients are in your cup? Do you have a recipe for disaster or a recipe for answered prayer? Like all of the journaling techniques, evidence of what you journal might not manifest immediately. But try your best to apply your earnest feelings to the things you are writing. Find joy in the possibility of its arrival. If you are writing not believing in your projections, then that will indeed delay the process. If you are writing without being truthful, what you are writing about can't come true. Otherwise, expect expect the manifestations of your desires. Remember the Farah Fenton Habukatutu translation? It said, write the vision, quite plain, on a board, so that to it the reader may run. For quickly the vision will come, and pants to its aim. That means it's coming quickly. It's at hand. Nor does it deceive. If it lingers, yet wait, for it comes. It advances. It will not delay. Finally, pray with faith that all things are possible. Remember, faith is believing in what you cannot see, especially when we don't see the evidence of our desire. Look at the Amplified Bible's version of faith. Now, faith is the assurance, the title deed, confirmation of things not seen, the conviction of their reality. Faith comprehends as fact what cannot be experienced by the physical senses. And the English Revised Version says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the proving of things not seen. I'll end this with a sentence from my script writing. Take 4. Dr. Cynthia Marie Whitley reached out and touched her listeners very deeply because her intention was to make things plain to anyone who comes into her space through storytelling. Her informative and inspiring stories touches millions of people around the world, and this brings her and our great joy. They both comfort and lift the spirits of those they encounter. This is the end of Take 3. Shalom. Until next time.